Good morning, and I hope you've been well, and this is part 174 of the Pokemon Rejuvenation V13.5 Let's Play. Set mode, no items, so yeah. So I guess with that being said and done, let's go on ahead and explore the mall with Crescent and our other friends. And here we are. I don't suppose you remember this, but there was a mall by our school in Spotlight City. We used to enjoy each other's company there quite often. Sorry, I don't know why I brought that up. I'm still living the past, and it's not like you could remember something you've never experienced. Well, it's still my first time being here, so I'll just... Did I just hear you say this is your first time here? To gain the full experience of this mall, you must have stamps. More stamps mean more shops you can browse. Alon is a returning customer, and I gave them a stamp before, so I'll just give the lady one instead. Thank you. But you're going to give Alon another stamp too. Sorry, one stamp per... Give Alon a stamp before I stamp your head in. Oh, I just forgot that we have a promotion where we give out a second free stamp. Alon got their trainer card stamped again. Thank you so much for your patronage, ma'am. We'll be frequent shoppers, I promise. That's for listening to me ramble about nonsense at the cafe. Let's call ourselves even then. Right, well, lead the way. I guess we'll go on ahead and save here real quick. And I guess we'll go on ahead and enjoy the shopping spree here. Oh, right. There are a few prompts with Crescent, so we'll go on ahead and read those real quick. It's ridiculous to require stamps to purchase things here. I'm not here to debate whether or not capitalism is right or wrong. I don't care. Wrong or right, sorry. I don't care. But doesn't this seem a little counterintuitive? Perhaps the exclusivity is and the demand to find more stamps across the city brings business elsewhere. It's always a scheme, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, fair point. I get the stamp idea with what Crescent said, and just, again, with the game itself, doing different quests, yada yada, gets you stamps. I get why, you know, they made it like that, but going more into like the game itself and not Jane's decisions and whatnot, I don't know, it does definitely seem kind of counterproductive, like Crescent was saying before, because like you would think, if I had a boatload of money and I wanted to shop here, but I couldn't give you money because I don't have a stamp for that, you know, area within the mall. I feel like that's a loss on, you know, a buyer, for an example, that doesn't want to go out of their way to get these stamps and whatnot, but I don't know. I didn't make the mall. It's not my rules, so yeah. Pokemon trainers, please, it's all such a distraction. No one here knows what this world is and what's going to happen. They live meaningless lives with the pursuit happiness most of them will never achieve. Yet that's a life I wish I had. Even their story matters to some degree. Alon, you sure talk a lot. Sorry, but good lord, you could talk. I don't have that much to say. You're wearing me thin here. Give a girl a break. I'm not really interested in buying anything here. Everything's more expensive here, and why buy things when I can just make them myself? Potions require medicinal roots, and Pokeballs require apricorns. If you buy in bulk and then just make the product yourself, it's cheaper, and most of the time it's just better than the ones on the shelves. For me anyways. I believe that's pretty much all the prompts that she says. I'll double check just in case. Yep, we're good to go. Save right here. And I guess we'll go on ahead and find our friends and maybe do a little bit of shopping. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna do any shopping. I'm pretty good on my items, honestly. Now what should I stock up on? I'm pretty sure it's just these two for the time being, but I'll take a look just in case. Okay. Right, since I have 9 now, does that mean I get the... Right, because I think one of these was closed off because... Okay, so that's 10 stamps. Let me see. I do remember being able to shop at all of these. Right, and I kind of bought all those TMs already. So I'm gonna guess it was this one here that now I can purchase. I'll just leave that alone because I don't see anything that sticks out to me. Oh, Alon and Crescent are here. Yes, hello Malia and Venom too. Like our new outfits? We did a little shopping on our way here. I got my stuff from Ursaluna Outfitters, although it's technically not new. It's the same clothes I had when I first met Alon. The pair I had when I ran from Team Zen got all battered and ruined. Got my outfit from Gothica? However you pronounce that. They had a nice punk rock section I liked. Oh, and I'm just wearing a wig. Dyeing my hair takes too much time now. This is a cool alternative. I think I miss having purple hair so much. Wow, someone's being talkative today. All she said was hello. Exactly. Are you done? Yeah. Excellent. Well, we're gonna go grab a table we can hang out at. So why don't you go grab everyone else and then we'll reconvene there. Very well. Now, just to kind of like point it out there, as some probably have noticed, it is kind of interesting, I'll move the cursor here, that her hair definitely resembles Melanie, so it is a unique little thing that I think was intentional by, you know, the group, so, well, like Jane's group and whatnot, so yeah, I don't think there's any like significance like she's about to turn into Melanie, but just a neat little detail that they decided to throw in there, so yeah. Very well. I wonder why they went down that way. There's no exit down there, is there? They're certainly trying their best, I think. Malia is too kind and Venom is, well, she's Venom. Are you analyzing them? And that's okay. That's rude. Now, on my normal mode series, I went through all the prompts. I'm not really gonna do that this time around. I'm just gonna go with the ones that give you the friendship points. I'm pretty sure the one that gets you the 1 point with Crescent is, and that's okay. I think? Let me look. Because I didn't see a point there. Oh, I see. Okay, so I guess any one of those is neutral. So I'll just go with the middle one. But I believe there should be a second prompt here if I remember correctly. I wasn't asking for approval, I was merely making a statement. Just give them time, sometimes it can't work, they're like your old friends. Just give them time. Right, that's the one that gets you the point, so E. And I'll double check just in case. Yes, that one gets you 1 point. Perhaps you're right. They say time heals all wounds, but I've rejected time's therapeutic ways. Very well then, I'm gonna call that little interaction a success, even if nothing really happened. Let's go find the others. Okay, real quick, I'm curious. Oh, there is an elevator, okay. Because at first I was like, I don't think there's anything over here, but no, I was wrong, sorry about that. I totally forgot about the elevator here. It's the other side that doesn't have... Right, okay. Maybe I was just being dumb and mixing up the other side. Probably. Okay. I'll save right here. And I gotta say, you know, before we talk to these two individuals right here, I really like how, again, with this story, especially with chapter V13.5, it definitely opens up a little more with all of the, you know, friends that we've made along the way, like Aaron, Cannon, Crescent, Malia, Venom, Ren, and all the others, Alita, Alexandra, Damien. I can go on and on about it and list off quite a few more, but I think that's mostly the main group there. But yeah, it's just something that's really intriguing and a lot of fun, honestly, especially going more so into the Crescent segment here, that you can tell she's having issues moving on and accepting change, but she's slowly getting into the mindset of this needs to happen. I want my old friends back. I wish the actual Alon was here with me, but they have told me that it is okay to move forward. They're always going to be around within, you know, my body, soul, heart, mind, whatever you want to call it, word it, and I'm going to continue moving forward, holding on to their legacy with me, and make new friends, go on new adventures, and just live life. So yeah, I think it's really cool to see Crescent in this kind of like state here, still having issues talking and socializing and whatnot, but she's at least giving it the chance that it rightfully deserves, like how all her friends appeared before her within Zeit saying like, you deserve this, we're always with you, and go make new friends, go out and about, live life, you know? So yeah, I could have worded that better, but I think many get the point. Hey Alon, we're just doing some shopping before, well, you know. Hello. Looks like our little star under the moon decided to show up today. Thank you for doing so. Don't mention it. Truly, it doesn't mean a lot of us. I read that wrong, probably, sorry. Truly, it does mean a lot to all of us that you have decided to give us a chance. Truthfully, it feels like the other way around. I've been wondering why you all would want me around after everything, and I think I've come to the conclusion that it is simply circumstance of mutual benefit, a business transaction if you will. You're annoying. You know, I think it's really like goofy, especially with Aaron and Crescent's like personality. Both of them, you know, like it's really difficult to word. Like they have a very similar way of speaking and thinking about things, but at the same time they also don't. It's really hard to word. Like it's very similar, but it also isn't very similar. So it is kind of fun to see them kind of like clash a little bit here. Like Aaron, like saying, for an example, like you're annoying, after, you know, Crescent being like, I don't think this is really like a friend thing. I think you just want me around because it benefits you and your team. And Aaron's like, yes, you do add a lot to the team, but I do want us all to be friends. It's not just I want you because you're powerful. That's cool and all, but I really want to be friends. And I think everybody else around us wants you to be a part of the group, the friends, and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I could have worded that better, but that's how I kind of see it. I could be right and wrong. I don't really know, but yeah. I won't deny that having you on our side does nothing but benefit us, but why can't we work together and also be companions? There are a lot of reasons, but most of them are already in the past at this point. If it's in the past, then why does it matter? Everything matters. I've learned that the hard way. But regardless, like you said, I've made the conscious effort to appear here today. Let's not sour the occasion. Sounds reasonable to me. We're going to meet up with Malia and Venom now. You two have fun hanging out. And again, Crescent, she's still having a hard time opening up, you know? Like, she definitely could have worded things better, but with everything that she's been through, everything that she's trying to move on from, it's not easy for her. So you just have to give her that chance and that time to slowly, you know, accept what's going on and give it the benefit of the doubt and at least try to form some sort of friendship, companionship, whatever you want to call or word it. They like you. That was rough. Why so hesitant? Let me check the points real quick. They like you is minus points. Why so hesitant is 1 point. The other one's just neutral, so we'll go with this one. Why so hesitant? My fate is intertwined with Aaron and Malia more than I like. Because of that, it makes things a bit more complicated for me. I'm having an eternal struggle even now. What is new? Ignorance is bliss, they say. Let's just move on. I see, says the blind man. Let's see. Spent over budget today. This is why I don't come here. Gosi, however you say that word, is expensive, evidently. Perhaps I should focus more on Erin's finances. She spent way too much on those new clothes. Now what should I stock up on? I know there's one more up the stairs. I'm just reading the dialogue real quick. Hey, we grabbed a table pretty quickly. We're just waiting for everyone to show up now. And I believe she is all the way up here. Right. What do you mean I can't shop here? Uh-oh. Voice crack there, sorry. I'm very sorry, ma'am, but Goosey? I don't really know how you pronounce that, but that's what I'll say. Is available for shoppers with a maximum of 10 stamps and an invitation. Currently you have 1 and no invitation. Boo-hoo. What kind of broken system is this? Don't waste your breath, Alita. Those who are drunk off the high of exclusivity are too far gone. That is what happens when superiority and money consumes your personality. They're about to consume a mega kick and a mega punch in a second. If you resort to violence, I'm going to screech for help, and Officer Jenny will reach here with extreme speed. Then she'll use imprison and you'll fake cry tears to try and get on out of it. I just forgot that I have stuff to do. Amnesia was not part of the script. Sir, with all due respect, I think tantalizing your customers is anything but productive. Your head is filled with thick fat. Quick with words, Then let's see what happens when your head once I put it through the guillotine. You can't call for help once I cross-chop that neck off your spine. That won't be needed, Crescent. Even if this man is kind of a jerk, let's just leave him be. You people are too far kind for your own good. I think sometimes a little beheading is needed to humble someone. So like, I disagree. But that's the fun in having friends, right? Some opinions are just different. Alita. I've caused enough of a scene, so I'm gonna go on ahead and head over to the others. You guys should come too. It'll be fun, I promise. I did not mean to skip that, sorry. Or like click A there way too quickly, sorry. What would that have said? Something wrong. And then the other one is Alita's nice is -1 point, and then I assume the other one's neutral. Sorry about that. I won't close the game just to redo that. Pretty much, if you want the +1, I guess you click on something wrong. I very clearly acted out of line and made Alita uncomfortable. Out of all the interactions so far, that's the one I'm willing to call a complete failure. Why am I so fast to resort to violence when I get so agitated? I've been fighting for so long that it's all I know how to do at this point, but I caused trouble this time and I'm trying to correct that. Anyway, that was the last of them, yes, but we're still missing one person in particular. Never mind that, let's just go meet with your friend, everyone else. And of course, if you're wondering, she's thinking about Ren. I will say it is a really goofy scene with the whole, Pokemon ability, puns and whatnot. I don't know if it's... No, I think they're puns. I'll call them puns, jokes, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, again, like with Crescent, feeling like I feel like that was a complete failure. Alita definitely was not comfortable with me about to, do that to this guy. I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50. I can see her not doing it, but I can also see her just doing that right now, but who knows with Crescent. But I really like the lines there when she's like, I don't know why I get so agitated that I resort to violence so instantaneously. I don't get it, but it's just, it's what I do. And again, going back to her past and her personality and all that kind of stuff that's, you know, happened with her, you can understand why she is the way that she is. You get it, you understand it. You know, I never really watched the movie, but I seen that clip of that, you know, that one like dog where he's like, I don't know why I bite, I just bite. I feel like it's kind of similar with Crescent, where it's like, I don't know why I get mad so easily, I just get mad. Like, I tried doing the right thing, I've made mistakes along the way, but for some reason, I just get mad, I just get agitated. I don't get it, but I get mad so easily. And I think it's something that's really unique with her character, that eventually she will work towards, hopefully. Okay, on to the table. Stupid Goosey, what's so cool about designer clothes anyways? And I'm pretty sure they all say, yeah, it's all the same thing, so we'll save right here. And oh, we talked to Malia, okay. Hey guys, we saved you to a seat. It seems everyone is here except one person. Ren is absent. He'll be here when you guys go to dinner later. You all won't be there? We wanted to come, but Aaron could only get reservations for 3, so it'll just be you, Ren, and Alan. You guys are bad at coming up with subtle plans. Subtlety doesn't work for you, Crescent, so we're being as blatant as possible. Yeah, we're tired and we just want to be friends. No games. I suppose I can respect that. I appreciate your honesty. I know Ren and I have a troubled past together, but if he's willing to listen to me, I believe things should work out. Wow, this went easier than we expected. It really did. Wow, I was expecting a fight at some point. Alana and I already went through that. So, you should tell us a bit about yourself. And of course the fight thing, I think she's referring back to Zeit, where she got very emotional about finding out that the Alan that she loved, I think I had a voice crack there, or like a weird whistle sound there, sorry about that. But anyways, the one that she loved and cared for wasn't actually that Alan, so not the scene at the cafe, but back then within Zeit and all that. I know most probably got that, but again, just for new players that get a little bit lost with how much the story is, I just want to give a little explanation there. Okay, enough of that. The more we understand each other, the more we'll grow as friends. I know the intention, I just don't know where to start. I'm sure you all have a lot of questions for me, so perhaps it would be better if you all directly ask me questions and I'll give my best answer, the best answer I can. That works. Okay then, where do we begin? Now, this is going to have a lot of reading, so I guess we'll just start from the top. Spacia and Tempa. Our resident space hags. Yes, what about them? After everything they put Alon and I through, I can see why you went rogue. But we'd still like to hear your reasonings if that's alright. More than alright, in fact. I'd love to reveal in the reason why I hate those two with every burning passion. Like everyone else, they appeared before me during a desperate time. When Alon pushed me into the ravine and into the steam below, I sustained injuries. While covering my left eye with my hair is an aesthetic choice, it's also... Well, I don't have a working left eye anymore. Oh right, I totally forgot about that. I don't know if it really matters to make that a point, but I'm going to write it down. Okay. I don't know if it's really going to be relevant down the line, I strongly doubt it, but I totally forgot about that detail. Oh, now I see. Darn Canon, you have no chill at all. Oh. Relax, I know you didn't mean it that way. I'm used to it now, and honestly, not too bad despite my depth perception being a bit hampered. But back to the question I was asked. They promised me they would revive my friends if I had joined the Storm Chasers. I did a lot of recon work, sneaking around, causing Team Zen trouble. It was through the efforts of these storm chasers, that I found out the black boxes. Tempa used her powers to send me to their lab at a specific point in time and steal them, but as I did that, my job was officially declared over, and when that happens, they dispose of you. Exactly, when they didn't need me anymore, they promptly tried to send me to that point they found me. If they were successful, I would have had to survive the 9-hour storm once again. I would have been slaughtered, but that's if they were successful. The space hags underestimated me, and for that they paid the price. Did you fight them? Of course I did, and while I couldn't necessarily beat them, they couldn't take me down either. A complete standstill. You're that powerful? Why are you saying that as if my power isn't unobtainable or strange? Were you all not the ones who took down the Puppet Master? You're the one who said I couldn't fight you all anymore, and it's true. Okay, I'll just shut up. Being saved by those two just means delaying the inevitable, or becoming stronger to buy yourself even more time. Haven't you all noticed that there aren't that many members of the organization left despite being called an organization? It's because Tempa and Spaceship picked them off one by one. Before Malia and even Cannon, there were so many of them in that mansion. Edna, Seraph, Gibble, Marcus, Kai. So many people I've seen in and out on the guess how you say that? Of them going on missions, just for them to be thrown back into their deaths. Also, I want to give a shout out to Soda too. We ain't gonna forget that dude. If you don't know, or don't remember, I believe he was, well, I don't know if he was a storm chaser by any means. I don't remember, but I know he worked with them and gave him a life in order to eventually, you know, do the whole thing with Alita and whatnot, so he was definitely one that was used for a greater cause, and then when his time ran out, you know, he got his golden wings and flew on to the great beyond. And it isn't necessarily over for me either. There's no escaping them. One day they'll try and finish what they started, and when that day comes, I'll cut them in two. Definitely is a very interesting thing overall with the Spacia and Tempa bit there with, you know, Crescent talking about that. I don't want to get super into it because, like, there's a lot of reading here, but again, learning about Crescent, her being involved with the space hags, as she called them, being a storm chaser, doing all sorts of things, and then when time runs out and they're like, all right, we used you for what we needed you for, goodbye, get out of here. It kind of sucks for many of the other people because, like, think about it, you're given a second chance and you're promised something, and the reality of it is you're just gonna be thrown aside when, you know, your time is up, when they no longer need you anymore. It sucks, it's wrong how they, you know, manipulate you in that kind of way, but of course in their minds they're like, it's for the greater good. So yeah, we lied, but can you really do anything about it? And unfortunately most couldn't. Crescent fortunately had the power to pull up and stand her ground. Malia with the archetype, I believe she probably could hold her own, but again, as she uses the archetype more and more because of the Genesis syndrome, it wears on her body more and more, so yeah, it's a tricky situation, but very few are able to actually, you know, have a standstill with them, so thankfully she was good enough to be able to do that. Interceptor. When did you become an interceptor? What was the process like? When I was saved by Elan, I went unconscious. During that point, I woke up inside of my own mind and Varaya was there. She told me everything about how I could intercept my own fate and change the future into many things. I took her offer because there was nothing left and I saw it as an opportunity, but I neglected my duty as an interceptor and used my abilities to benefit only myself. It was then when the ranking of interceptor was taken away from me, or so I thought. It turns out she had cut my power in half to give it to Alon. So that's an interesting thing. So go back to the vision for an example where, I guess to be fair, it could have been a lie potentially then, because she said, hey, guess what? You're going to be my interceptor, Alon. We're going to cut your power in half because a part of you is going to lay dormant and asleep within you. Like the actual Alon, you know, didn't want the role, but somebody else is going to take his place. I guess potentially that could have been a lie, where she's like, you know what? I would just say it like this, but in reality, I'm going to cut you in half, Crescent in half. Cool? Cool. So, yeah, whether it was or wasn't a lie, I'm not really certain, but I would guess it would have to be. I think? I don't really know. Now we share the same life core, as if we were one person. That's so cruel. Perhaps, and now I realize that going for my friends was the punishment of neglecting my duties. My duty became directly interlocked in a way where I could no longer ignore them. So what I'm trying to say is, don't piss off Araya or she will make your life a living hell. Yeah, no kidding. She went for the jugular on that one. She's bested me for now, but one day I vow to get revenge on her for that. I was wrong for forcefully bringing my friends back, but she was the one who tried to put them back on a path of peril. She will die for that one day. Someday. Now, that is like an interesting line at the very end. I kind of want to do a spoiler rant. Well, let me just read everything first, and then I might go back to that. We'll see. Where'd you come from? That's a long story. Maybe I'll talk about it later. Favorite food? Really? All of these serious questions and then one like this? Oops, sorry. That was my question. I thought it'd be nice to not increase your blood pressure with so many dense questions. Well, I don't really have a favorite food. I usually eat out of necessity, not pleasure, so I don't really know. Sorry, but I do have a favorite beverage. Oh? It was a drink Avia made for me once. Did you know that Avia was a talented barista for a time? Anyway, she made me a custom drink called Pink Rose Royal Milk Tea. That drink would make me feel happy even on my saddest days. Do you remember what was in it? I could probably whip up some for you. Would you really do that for me, Cannon? I'm accustomed to making food and drinks from when I served. It had tons of milk, brown sugar, pink rose water, black tea leaves, and hot water. It was delicious. That sounds simple enough. Next time I'm in the kitchen, I'll whip it up for you. I love that. Why'd you trick Ren? I'm not comfortable talking about that, and even if I were, that's an explanation Ren needs to hear before anyone else. It doesn't matter if you're not comfortable. You put Ren through some serious crap, and you need to answer for it. I won't answer it, so just drop it. Why won't you answer? Because I'm not allowed to. You're not allowed to? That's right. If I could tell you why I did it, I would, but I can't, and that's it. I will say nothing more on this topic. I mean, again, I probably could go on a spoiler rant there as well, but I'll save that in this one then after we read through everything. And then I'll probably do a slight spoiler rant on some of these. But to touch on that, I don't think she's unreasonable when she says, one, there's some things that I cannot say. Sorry, tough luck, sucks to suck, not saying it. Right? Excuse me there. But I do appreciate how she's like, even with some of the things that I can say, it's not your business until I talk to Ren first. It's only right that I talk to him, and then either he tells you guys or I'll explain it to you guys. So I think that's honestly fair and reasonable. I get that. Did you really kill Eden? Eden. Yes. I did destroy them. Why? Because they were a huge threat, and because they were causing me a lot of problems during my school days. Eden, Clear, and Kieran are all ruthless, but they use different methods. Eden could manipulate emotions and as a result could control how a person acted. Now, that's an interesting line, like caused me issues at the school. So she's going all the way back, I guess probably when they first went into battle for like the black boxes and whatnot, and then there kind of came a point maybe during that or slightly afterwards that she took out Eden and then got onto the SS Oceana, and then the story kind of continued. So yeah, I just thought I'd say that there just in case some people might be confused about that. But the emotion, well, right, because of course she was a part of the school with all of her friends. It's not like Clear, Kieran, Eden were also classmates, not like that, but I would safely assume she's referring to what I said a few seconds ago. But the emotion they loved to toy with most was happiness, dangerous, and Zoe fought and I won. Clear and Kieran have been after me ever since I defeated them. It's possible they saw you as a threat to their cause if you had the capacity to remove one of them. That's certainly the most likely conclusion. Your weapon. But I will say, there is something that is intriguing to me though. While she did take out Eden, Clear and Kieran did win at some point with that one scene where you saw Saki's invention tore up on the ground on what, Route 7? And they captured her, put her in the pod, and that was that. They honestly could have got rid of her. Unless they did things to Crescent's body that we're not aware of yet. But still, like, even then, like, you would think, yeah, let's get rid of her. But they didn't. And there has to be a reason for that. And I guess when I do a spoiler rant after I read all of these prompts, I'll probably get into that as well, because why not? Oh, you mean the weapon Gothitelle summons for me? It's a pretty easy trick, really. Gothitelle is just using the move Psycho Cut and manifests it into a physical form. It can transform too, as you've seen, a bow, gauntlets, a shotgun, but the power of the weapon doesn't change at all. Hitting something or someone with it is no different than a Pokemon getting hit by the move Psycho Cut. Okay, but why do you fight that way? Normally people just make their Pokemon do all the fighting. Well, that's not as satisfying, isn't it? Feeling the weapon hit your target is exhilarating and therapeutic. Besides, I find it wrong that I send out my Pokemon to fight my own battles when I can do it myself. I think you just like hitting things with sharp objects. A lady can't help her hobbies. Mine is just a little more rough than others. Your age. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Crescent? So rude. Don't you know you're not supposed to ask a woman her age? Well, technically, I was born more than 50 years ago now. But physically, I suppose I would be around 19 by now. Now, of course, keep in mind, Storm 9 happened a long time ago. Same thing with Rhodia, how Thomas Blakery was like, wait, you would be extremely old. Why are you still here? Like, why are you still like young and whatnot? So keep in mind, she's also Storm Chaser. Crescent was originally one as well, so that's why technically they would be in their like 50s, but because of time and jumping time, they're still pretty young. So yeah, okay. Just to give a little explanation to, again, players that are new that may not understand what's going on. Suppose, you mean you don't know? I've never been a fan of my birthday, and I've been hopping through different dates back and forth. It's only natural I wouldn't exactly know my age. I was 17 when the Storm 9 began. Approximately, I like to say I'm 19, and that's what I'm gonna stick with. Fair enough. Because I'm about to say, I don't really care about my birthday either, so I feel that. But anyways, I guess we'll kind of go through some of these, get into like a spoiler rant as I normally do. So yeah, if you don't want to listen, that's fine. Go to the comment section below, timestamp there. I'll try not to be super lengthy with this, but it might be a little lengthy, we'll see. But yeah, again, timestamp, comment section below. If you don't want to listen, go there, skip ahead. Yeah. Okay, we are in spoiler territory. One final time, if you do not want to listen, go to the comment section below, timestamp there, skip ahead. Yeah, okay. So I do want to glance through this real quick, see if anything catches my eye. I believe it was towards the end that I wanted to talk about. Push me into the ravine. My left eye no longer works. There are a lot of recon work sneaking around, causing teams in trouble. I found out about the black boxes. Tempo used her powers to send me to their lab at a specific point in time to steal them. But as I did that, my job was officially declared over. So, yeah, Spaceship and Tempo were like, good work. You got the boxes. Hey, you know what? I want those boxes. You're doomed. I'm sending you back. Game over. And of course went into battle. And I'm going to safely assume that is how she brought back Alon and Nancy, because even though they went into battle, it's not like they obtained the boxes. And, whatchamacallit, Crescent used it for her own gain, and then that kind of goes into the second prompt about Varai and whatnot, because she was like, hey, I kind of gave you a task to be my interceptor, you're using it for selfish gains. Alon, come here. Come here, I like your soul. 50% to you, 50% to Crescent, because she's not doing her job right. Cool, cool. And then story continues. And then that happens, they dispose of you. Would have been slaughtered. Let's see. Calls them out for being strong as well. Haven't you all noticed that there aren't that many members of the organization left despite being called the organization? And that's also like a very interesting thing, because it really does go to show that we're getting to the end game of the story, because there was a lot of members, but slowly but surely they start to disappear. And I think that plays on to, again, V14, V15, V16 when it arrives. We're getting close to the end. They're collecting their data, they're doing their things, they're scheming. The variety, well, more so Spaceship Tempo, and I guess like Variety to an extent. I don't want to get super into the whole Variety thing, because like that's extremely heavy stuff, but we are in spoiler territory, so I might bring it up here and there. But yeah, anyways, that many members of the organization left despite being called an organization. Picked them off one by one. So many of them at the mansion. Isn't over for me too, there's no escaping them. So yeah, and then like the ending there, I think it's like an interesting thing, because it seemed like Spaceship and Tempa are like, okay, well, we'll come back another day. It won't be today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day it's within our system, our data, whatever you want to call it, that once we do this, we have to eliminate you. Because again, they follow Varia's rules. Because again, I've been on the spoiler rant many times, and I've talked about this, that I believe they are one of the 17 volunteers within, you know, Old Earth and whatnot. Space, Time, Spacia, Tempa, Dialga, Palkia, and Varai is the one that did all the testing. They were good to go to be a volunteer, and they follow Varai's orders. She is, you know, Her Majesty, as Spacia and Tempa called, you know, Varai. Well, in the story, they only say the word Her Majesty, but at the end of V13.5, they do name Her Majesty as Varai. So within their data system, whatever you want to call it, I'm sure it's a thing that they have to hire people to be a storm chaser, and then when their time is up, they're gone, wiped clean. They know too much, they did too much, yada yada. They're gone. I guess. No, yeah, I think I worded that right. I could have worded it better though, but yeah. Let's see. Trying to think of anything else. I think that's pretty much it on that. I guess we'll go into the whole interceptor thing real quick. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. I had to take my dog outside. Okay. So when did you become an interceptor? I was saved by Alon when I went unconscious. Woke up inside my mind and Varai was there. She told me everything about how I could intercept my own fate and change the future into many things. I took her offer because there was nothing left. Saw it as an opportunity, but I neglected my duty as an interceptor and used my abilities to benefit not only myself. Ranking my interceptor was taken away, or so I thought. Same life core as if we're one person. So, again, going off of what I said earlier with the Spacia and Tempa thing, she was kind of doing her own thing, got the black boxes, was meant to help the storm chasers, Spacia Tempa, but Crescent was like, you know, since you guys wanted to eliminate me, yeah, screw that. I'm just gonna do my own thing. And Varai's like, ah, man. Alright, whatever. You do your own thing. I kind of wanted those black boxes, but whatever. We're just gonna give the ranking to somebody else. So, yeah, and that's something that's interesting. So, I wonder if it's... I would guess the thing that she can... Like, that's the thing that's tricky. I don't know if Raya has the ability to take away 100% of the rights of one to be an interceptor. Whether she can or can't, I'm not entirely certain, but it seems like she's able to limit the power and give it to somebody else, but you're still a part of it, per se, depending on the world and time and yada yada that you're in. So yeah, I'm not really certain on how that would work with her, but regardless, she didn't do what what needed to be done, and gave half the power to Alon. So yeah, and I think it is an interesting question, like what I brought up earlier. Like, is it a thing then that when Varaya became, you know, within our mind and whatnot, and she was like, hey, 50% power, the real you is gonna stay asleep, and whatchamacallit, like half the power, 50% is gonna lay dormant within you, another person from another world is gonna take over your body, move around, yada yada, do the story, and you're good to go, goodbye, have fun, be my interceptor, thank you so much, and on you go now. So, like with that whole thing, I guess where I'm going at, again, like I said before, I feel like my words are really weird, I'm sorry. I'm just talking too fast is all. Like she said before, like 50% is half because of that, but like it would have to be a lie, right? Because then like Crescent's still a part of the same life core, right? So yeah, I don't know honestly. But also what makes it interesting is Advis was able to unlock all the power that the Interceptor has, so there is something kind of fishy there. Maybe I'm not understanding it fully and I'm getting something wrong about that, but something's not adding up there, and it's kind of interesting to me. That's so cruel, perhaps, and I realized that going for my friends was a punishment of neglecting my own duties. So again, remember she tried to revive Alon. Alon was going to be revived, but he, in front of her, I was like, nuh-uh, I want to stay dead. So Crescent was close, but the actual Alon did not want to continue on. So yeah. Can no longer ignore them. And that's also why Crescent, for the longest time, where she appeared before Alon being like, stop hanging out with these people. Why do you keep doing this? You keep doing everything that I tell you not to do. She's doing that not because she wants to protect him, but him going in danger, him dying multiple times, affects her as well. So yeah. What I'm trying to say is don't piss off Raya or she'll make your life a living hell. Yeah, no kidding, she went for the jugular on that one. She bested me for now, but one day I vow to get revenge on her for that. I was wrong for forcefully bringing my friends back, but she was the one who tried to put them on a path of peril. Because again, while Spacia and Tempa promised, hey, we'll bring your friends back, the reality of it is that wasn't actually going to happen. She was going to be thrown back into Storm 9, but also knowing, see, but that's the line there that gets me intrigued, right? She says, my friend's on peril. So like, it seems as if Crescent knows some things about like Varaya, the predetermined timeline, and yada yada yada. Like she knows things, but again, can't outright say it yet, in a sense. I don't know, because like, I want to go back to the line. She bested me for now, but one day I vow to get revenge on her for that. I was wrong for forcefully bringing back my friends, but she was the one to try to bring back my friends. But she tried to put them back on a path of peril. maybe I'm overthinking it, and it's more so a thing like if I would have been sent back into time, I would have had to relive that same thing with my friends. I think that's probably what it's going at, and not her knowing about the predetermined timeline that Varai has caused. So yeah, maybe not. I'm not too certain on that though. She will die for that one day someday. Where'd you come from? We'll get into that later. Favorite food? What'd you trick Ren? Because I'm not allowed to. So again, that's like another thing too that's kind of like interesting. Like I'm not allowed to. I don't know if it's a thing that, because I think the dining scene goes into it more, so I'll probably have to wait till then if I'm kind of right or kind of wrong on it. But I think either Crescent simply did that just to do it, or if it was a thing that she was ordered to make Ren go down the path of joining Team Zen, being a mole, doing that and then Crescent gets the data and hands it over to the space hags, and then life kind of continues on. Or it's a simple fact that she's already deviated from that group and she's just doing that to still get at Team Zen for trying to go after Alana and whatnot. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's the second, that she's already deviated from them and she's just kind of doing that just to do it, and unfortunately did something very similar to what the Space Hags was trying to do to her, but she kind of did it to Ren. So yeah, that kind of sucked for Ren a lot, and Ren has every right to not really like her because of that. But that's not the main point of what I'm trying to get at here. The point is, it is interesting how she says, I can't talk about it though, as if she knows some certain things, whether it's with the Space Hags, or maybe she knows some things that can't really be said right now. Maybe about Variety Predetermined Timeline, how Ren had to join that group in order to make things progress. I don't really know, but there is kind of something fishy there. Did you really kill Eden? I don't think I really have a lot to say about this one, honestly. I mean, I can go back to it. Go back to the school. We fought. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say to that, honestly, because, yeah, I mean, clearly Space Hags brought her to that time. She got the black boxes, killed Eden. Claire and Karen were like, oh, grr, and like went after them. And yeah, I made a really weird sound there. That's okay. Pretty much, well, I guess to be fair, like, they don't really seem to be ones to show much emotion, though. That's not true. Kieran is like, oh, I love this destruction, yippee, and like all like happy, cheery, smiling and whatnot for the most part. Clear is just clear. I know we had the one video going over that video that Jane made about the V14 preview. I did do a review on all of that. If you want to check it out, you definitely should. It was really, really cool. But again, it's something that I brought up on that video. I'll say it here. Clear like a water bottle, where she adds these different emotions, different personality, different people that she impersonates and does her illusion stuff and yada yada. It's a melting pot, a mixing of all sorts of, you know, food dye, colors, flavors within the water bottle itself. And that's why I think she goes slightly crazy within that preview and says some pretty wacky stuff. So Clear isn't exactly clear anymore. So yeah, I mean, like, she is clear, but again, with all the different stuff going within her, with all the people she impersonates and yada yada. Yeah, but I'll leave it at that though. Your weapon, your age, done for now. I think that's pretty much it, honestly. Yeah, that went a lot longer than I wanted to, but that's okay. I think with that, we'll stop there and leave it at that, so yee. Okay, we're out of spoiler territory, and I'm writing this down, and I think we're good to go. Done for now. I suppose that's all the questions we have for today. Sorry for the drama dramatic Q&A. We're just really curious about you. We learned a lot, but we still don't know who you are or where you come from. On the topic of where I come from, I don't think I'll ever be comfortable talking about it, and I think that's a good reason to just spill everything right now. No better moment than now, right? We're listening. And if you want to stop halfway through, that's okay too. I think once I start, I won't be able to stop. It's fine. Very well then. No, we're never going to skip that. I will say this. I'm going to guess Zumi is the one that did like the art panels here. If she didn't, I don't know who did it, but it is absolutely phenomenal. I love like this art style kind of here. It is really, really cool. Anyways though, I was born in a village secluded from society in Mira. Our land had been ravaged by a demon for many centuries. When all hope seemed lost for us, a burst of moonlight shone down from the sky. Crescent descends from the heavens and warded it off with its immaculate light. Our tribe became eternally grateful for Crescent, and we worshipped it as our deity. Now, I do want to get into a rant, not now, but about the whole like mirror thing, because I think that is something that is extremely important that can be looked past by many players, because again, it gets into confusing territory, but it is a topic that I do want to try to tackle once again, so we'll keep reading, but I will go back to that. The month in which Crescent saved us had become sacred, the month of the crescent moon. Our tribe came up with rules in order to honor it. Children cannot be born under the month of the crescent moon. This was the most important rule. People in our tribe could only mate with our own members, or unless specific permissions were given. Members who have been broken either rule shall be exiled or executed on the council's decision. My mother had broken the second rule and mated with a man outside of our tribe, and as a result broke the first rule. I was a child born underneath the crescent moon. As a result of my birth, my older brother and mother were ostracized. I don't know how you say that word correctly, sorry. And I was treated like a monster. I was branded with the name Crescent as a reminder of my forbidden birth. Hatred and disgust followed me for years. Day by day, I was reminded of the great sin that was my existence. My mother pretended I didn't exist, and my brother acted as though he loathed me. Things got so much worse as I grew older, and my mother could not afford to feed me. Out of desperation, I stole bread from a stall and was caught. All the years of hatred caused by the village's rage to peak, I was sentenced to death. My older brother Moon, who I thought hated me, protected and pleaded with our elder for another chance. The elder agreed and decided to let our god decide for us. I had put my life in front of Crescent and begged for my life. But when I reached my hand out for forgiveness, Crescent abandoned me. First, they executed my mother by beheading. Then they went for me. My brother grabbed me and dragged me into the woods. I thought he was going to kill me himself, but eventually we came to a stream. Moon told me to run, take the boat he had prepared and forget about them. I pleaded for him to come with me, but he refused. He unlatched the boat and set me adrift. That was the last time I saw my brother. I wandered the streets alone until the Mira nuclear fallout happened. I found myself on an evacuation ship and was promptly evacuated off the region. It is honestly a pretty intense story and life that she had to go through. And it's gotta really just suck, you know, plain and simply, that you were brought into this world without any choice in a matter of the date and time that, you know, the council all said, no breeding at this day, no having birth under the full moon, and yada yada yada. Or sorry, no, like, you know, doing the thing with somebody outside the village and then giving birth under the moon. That was the main thing. And then of course the third rule, but besides the point, the point is it wasn't her fault, right? And it just sucked to be, you know, mistreated so terribly, not really being fed at all, her mother just not really associating much with her at all, her brother as well, but still deep down, I think to some level they probably did care, but they just kind of had to do that. I would guess probably more so the brother than the mom, but who really knows, honestly. And I think honestly probably the most messed up thing was the whole Cresselia thing. Like, imagine like Cresselia going on down to you and being like, no, I'm turning back around, yeah, you're screwed, goodbye, gone, sorry. And that of course unravels, and mom unfortunately got reheaded. She was going to be next, but then the brother Moon came on ahead to drag her away from all of them, and I'm not really sure if he would have survived, honestly. I would guess probably not. I don't really remember if she brings up if he did live or not, but regardless, he definitely made a sacrifice to save her life, and yeah. And then of course with the Mira nuclear power plant eventually at some point going down, she was brought on an evacuation ship, and I assume that kind of went into the whole avium thing, so yeah. Once I got off the ship, a group of soldiers asked me where my parents were. Obviously I told them they were gone, and then they took me to a facility where kids without parents were held. It was there that I found them, my past friends. We spent time in that box of a building until Spotlight City's construction was complete, and well, you know what happened from there. That's terrible. I can't imagine the pain and suffering you've been through. Stop. I did not tell you that story so that you would drown me in pity I did not ask for. I simply wanted to give you context on where I came from because you've asked. All of that is behind me now, and now I'm simply the last person in my lineage alive. Sort of. Sort of? At one point I became enraged at my father, and I hunted him down. I found him, and I tried to kill him. I couldn't do it. So he's still alive. It's quite likely, although I don't care about him anymore. I decided being with my friends was more important to me, and that's what led me here. Right, I've spent enough time sitting. I think I need to go on a walk. Alone. Don't forget about your dinner date with Ren and Alon later. Yeah, we'll meet up at the night market around 8 p.m., right? That's fine. Today was fun. She said today was fun. I think today was a success. Not yet. We still need things to go well at the dinner. Or dinner, sorry. Alon, you'll be sort of moderator, so good luck with that. I'm sure things will go on just fine. The rest of us will make our way back home then. Damien and Alexandra said they'll be sending over Latios and Latios to pick you all up when all of this is done. Good luck, Alon. Now, I guess yeah, let me do a slight rant about the mirror region. I want to try tackling that again, because like it's something that has always confused me, honestly, and with this rant that I'm about to give, it's probably going to be the most disorganized thing that I've said in a long while, so sorry if I make you lose some brain cells if you listen to this. Okay, comment section below, timestamp there, skip ahead, spoilers, yeah. Okay, we are in spoiler territory one final time. If you do not want to listen, comment section below, timestamp there, skip ahead. Yeah, okay. So, it's something that has always confused me, as I've said multiple times. The Mirror region, the Blakeries, the nuclear power plant, the original Team Zen. Let's just keep it very simple, step by step. Mirror region is a thing. There came a point where Crescent ended up on a boat. The nuclear power plant happened, and she was on a boat, went to Avium, and pretty much resided within the school area for, you know, foster kids and whatnot that unfortunately don't have parents to care for them, with the other pro-tags, Avis, Avia, Rena, Anna, or Anna, however you want to pronounce her name, Axel. Did I say Arena already? I don't really remember, but Arena, Arrow, sorry, and a lot. So that group is there with her, and they grow up all happy and whatnot until Storm 9 arrives. So back to the Mirror region. It's really interesting how that all went down, because again, the original Team Zen and then somehow appeared within Avium at some point. So it's just it's really hard for me, the word, to like connect that. So like I don't know why I'm getting so hung up on that, but I also kind of am at the same time, and it's really weird for me. So like again, like that all went down, people went there, right? But then Storm 9 happened. Is that a thing? Let's say with like Varia's storyline, the reset system and yada yada. She was like, okay, Yveltal, do the purge, eliminate pretty much everything, destroy the lands, yada yada. And originally, it was meant to just obliterate everything. But of course, with Vivian's sacrifice and the battle between Nimra and Indred and the other protectors of Avium, yada yada, doing their thing. Well, of course, Hazuki kind of ended up on the boat, but the point is, Angie got corrupted at some point. Nimra, I would safely assume, is kind of mostly gone from the picture. Kinda not, but I know you kind of like see like her image and spirit, whatever you would call it, here and there, but she's, let's just say, mostly out of the picture. And then the regions like split up and yada yada yada. So yeah, is it a thing that potentially they come from Mira because of the power plant to Avium? Let's say Yveltal death is meant to purge everything, the reset thing, like Varai intended, because in order for things to progress, there needs to be a clean wipeout, and then people just kind of up and appear again, life continues, and that's just how it was meant to be. Because again, like the reset, the core thing with what Old Earth started, because I'm pretty sure that's what we learned from the whole Old Earth segment, that in order for things to continue, there has to be a wipeout, and then life just I cannot speak today, up and appears because of the soul recycle thing, and then like once in a full moon it happens again, and then the cycle kind of like continues to sustain life for the time being. Now I'm gonna safely guess there is a goal afterwards for doing that and whatnot. Maybe it's just simply to create the system that it continuously does that forever and ever and ever, but I don't know. I don't know. There might be more to it, maybe not, but let's just keep it simple. Storm 9 isn't as effective as it was meant to be because of the sacrifice and yada yada yada. Now, of course, I would safely guess that Varai intended for that to happen, because again, predetermined timeline, it was meant to be this way, but let's say Varai is like, oh no, it didn't work. Oh, okay, whatever. Life continues on. And yeah, I don't know where I'm, see, like I have a path where I want to go with this, but I also don't know, because like that went down, but then some people from the Mirror region, what was it again, like Rune and Hugh ended up within, what's that area called again? The Voidal Chasm? Some people have as well. I don't know, like it, I don't know why I get so hung up on that. Maybe I should just like leave it alone until I actually like think about it more. Because like there has to be significance to Team Zen originally being there, and then now it's no longer, you know, Lord Zenodin, it's now under Madame X's rule. And I guess like that goes into a whole different thing. Like, well, I don't want to get into my rant about like Team Zen goals and whatnot, but I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You know what, let me just stop for now. I need to think about it more in my own time, so yeah, we'll stop there. Alright, we're out of spoiler territory. I don't even know if I would even call that spoilers, but I'll still make it a timestamp just in case. Okay. So I think we're supposed to go to the night market, and I believe that I think that's actually down below. Yes, I went a little too far this way. Because I think we need to go here. I think. Yes. Hey Alon. Quick question. Do you notice anything different about me? That conversation we had at Mika's really made me realize that I miss my real body. So here I am, in the flesh once again. It took a lot of sneaking around, but Nastasia actually was supportive of it, even if it was something she didn't agree with at first, but I don't care. It feels great to be alive. I can smell, touch things normally again. I didn't mean to skip that text. I've noticed I've been doing that somewhat recently. I'm sorry about that. But I'm gonna guess that's the one that gets you the most points. Yeah, you look great as +3, so that's the one that we went with. Hey, thanks. I had a lot of maintenance, self-care I had to do to look presentable. My hair was down by my shoulders, so that had to get cut. I also hadn't showered in actual weeks, and that needed to be taken care of. I may as well have been in a coma, huh? Anyway, I cannot read today. I put our name down, and our reservation should be ready in a few minutes. Where's our angsty star? Hey, hey. Oh. Hello, Alon and Ren. Nice new look. You're late. I'm pretty sure the first one's the one that gets you the most points. Actually, it's neutral. I'll go with the first one. Nice look. I decided it was time to change it up a little bit. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about the moving forward bit, but I felt like a fresh outfit would benefit that angle. Besides, this is a fancy place, right? Are you supposed to get dressed up for places like that? Not required, but it definitely helps. They're going to call our name soon, so we should head on inside. Ah yes, Ren, table for 3? Your table is ready. Please follow me. I think I've seen Hugh up there. Hey Hugh. And I like the little feel just rolling around on that booth. I'll give you a few moments to take a look at the menu. I've never been to a place as fancy as this. I can't even imagine the type of food they sell here. I want the parm. Is everything okay? Can you guys decide, please? Let me look at the points real quick. So I guess it's neutral then. Okay. Is everything okay? Ren, I know the restaurant is more of a formality than anything, but I don't really like beating around the bush, so you don't have to either. The fish platter looks so good, or maybe I could have some... I'm not even gonna try to attempt to pronounce that. Are you serious? Hey, you need to figure out your order before the waiter gets back, so just pick something that looks good, okay? I'm paying tonight. I haven't tried any of these foods before. I don't know what to pick. Alon, you decide what I get. I won't get on your case if I end up disliking it, so don't worry. Keep it simple. Parm special. The parm special, meat with red sauce and various cheeses. I do like cheese. I gotta say, I have an unhealthy addiction to cheese, man. Especially making like grilled cheeses and whatnot. I don't know, I love cheese. I'm gonna safely assume most people do though. Okay, it's decided then. I'll get the parm special. Hi, are you guys ready to order? Yep. What will you have? What will you all have, sorry? I'll have the parm special, extra cheese please. I'll have that please. And for you? Yeah, the parm special, why not? Okay, I have everything I need. Your food will be out shortly. Glad we got through that stressful bit, settled and out of the way. That was the stressful part? Oh yeah, I always get nervous when it comes to time for me to order. It's one of the only times I get really anxious. Do you take me for a fool? How can you just act so obliviously? Or obliviously? I think I actually had that right the first time, sorry. I know you hold resentment towards me, so just deal with the issue and confront it, get angry with me, yell at me, I don't know, do something, anything more than this, it's torture. I know when I was told about this arrangement, I was angry. Now, I think it's kind of goofy though, I'm pretty sure Ren actually probably does have like anxiety towards, you know, ordering at like restaurants, so I think that's a goofy little thing about Ren. But anyways, we'll get on to the more serious topic here. Before tonight I was sickened by you, embarrassed that you even put me down the path you did, but then, because of a friend, I had an epiphany. Oh, and what friend are you referring to? Malia? Aaron? Alon? None of the above. Nastasia. Oh, interesting. I didn't expect that answer. I still don't appreciate or love that I was manipulated into this by the fake death of a friend. In fact, I still get riled up about it when I look back on it. But for the success of our goal, and for the sake of moving forward, I want to raise the white flag and call a truce. Nonsense! You can't just move on so quickly and painlessly as if none of it even mattered. My actions put you on a path that endangered your life several times, and that's all you have to say about it? Asinine, completely and utterly insane of you to expect me to believe that to be true. Everything matters. I learned that the hard way. And just to kind of like touch on that a little bit, Crescent has every right to just like, you know, slam her fist on the table being like, you're insane. I literally screwed your life. You should be mad, angry, I don't know, sending out your Pokemon and pulling up on me. Like, you should not be this okay and this calm about a situation that I did to you. If it was the other way around, which it did happen, think about it, with the Space Hags going after Crescent to eliminate her, she was like, I'm biting back, I'm pulling up. You're not getting rid of me that easily. And she won the battle with them, and they were at a standstill. And it's almost like a similar situation yet again, but it's the opposite side, where Crescent did the horrible thing, did the wrong thing, and she's expecting Ren to just go all out like she did to the Space Hags, but it's a different angle, a different approach, a different opinion, a different perspective from what Ren is coming from here, saying, yeah, originally I was angry, I was pissed off, and I didn't really want to do this. But there is a clear goal, a clear objective that requires all of us to be in sync, unity, whatever you want to call it. We cannot afford to be fragmented. I want to raise the white flag, call a truce, I'm not happy about what happened to me. But if we're to win and to have a life without Team Zen and to truly live without any fear or anything like that, or any destruction, pain, oblivion, whatever you want to call or word it, we need to work together. And I think Ren is being the mature person through such a difficult circumstance that he's in right now. If I hadn't been put with Nastasia, I don't think I could have gotten as strong as I am now. It's because of you that I'm strong enough to finally make a difference in this world. And how can you be trusted to do that? You've made zero attempt to run away or escape your situation. Your real body is here with us now. You don't even have to go back. Yet you will, won't you? How is this any good? Because some time ago I realized something. A girl I knew who existed at 2 stages of her life. A little girl looking for her friend, and an adult looking for a way to her friend. Huh? I've brought it up with this friend, and they deny all of it. But the evidence is there, and I know she's been hurting for a long time. I felt her pain, and it's because of that pain that I chose to stay and help. I don't care about Team Zen, I don't care about any of it. I care about the friend I've made there, and her happiness. And when the time comes, I'm going to destroy Team Zen like I swore all that time ago. You're making absolutely no sense. I don't understand. Now, just to talk about this real quick, just in case if there are players that are confused, this isn't spoiler stuff because this is something that has been said and seen within the game. He's talking about Nastasia, if I'm correct on that, where within the past timeline, he had that scene with Anastasia, and throughout, I think, the 2 times we've been to the past, she ultimately had an unfortunate situation with her mother being the head of the Rejuvenation Co. and her friend Maria being taken away by Gardevoir, and ever since then she's been looking for her. And Ren recognizes Nastasia as a little girl, Anastasia, a girl that, again, like, she is extremely, strong, stubborn, hard-headed, whatever you want to call Nastasia. She's intelligent, all these kind of things. But deep down, I think Ren even made the joke that she's like a total softie and whatnot, and then Nastasia got really pissed off about that. But I do think to some level that Ren is right. He sees through that facade, that she's just somebody that has a goal in mind. She won't speak about it like the other admins did within Team Zen, but that goal, I think, very well may be to finally find that friend again. And Ren wants to see it through, that he can at least attempt to help her. And plus, to be fair, if Ren really was like, hey guys, I'm on out of here, I don't think Team Zen would really take that lightly, so yeah, I think there's that as well. But I think more than likely, of course, the main thing that weighs on his mind is helping her. So yeah, and that's something I can totally understand. It's okay. You don't have to. I've made my peace with it, and you should make peace with yourself too. You've been through hell. I know it. I can see it in your eyes, but you're free from all of that now. This world is yours too. So please just live for yourself and for the people you care about. No more pain, no more regrets, only moving forward. Well, that was very delicious. I can't say I expected the Parm special to be something I could call one of my new favorite dishes. Don't get used to it. Getting a seat at that place is near impossible. Although maybe I could learn to cook some of their dishes. No promises on if it'll get the taste just perfect though. I didn't know you cooked. Yeah, I had to do a lot of cooking for my family when my dad passed away. Sad reason, but I enjoy it a lot. It's a nice hobby of mine. I'm sorry to hear about your father's passing. What do we do now? It's a bit cold tonight. I'm still hungry. I don't know if these are appropriate responses after what Ren has said, but that's all we got though. I guess all of these are neutral then. What do we do now? It is quite late. Perhaps we should consider going back home. It's snowing, it's snowing! I see we just let children run around at the night market unattended these days. I'll lighten up, Crescent. Let's go check out the snow. It's been forever since I've seen snow like this. We don't get much snow in Golden Leaf. It's just snow. Yeah, but have you really taken the time to just admire it? This is something that exists in the world, and it's great because it just is. Ren, have you been partaking? Huh? Partaking? In what? Oh, nothing. Would you just try it? This is ridiculous. I think this is working a little too well for her. Hey, bud. Let's give her some space to compose herself. I just never realized something so simple, yet so beautiful, was around me all this time. Ren, Alon, Thank you. And I'm sorry. And, you know, it's something that I love, again, with V13.5. I can't give it enough praise. It's something so simple, yet I don't know why it really like hits hard, especially with, you know, myself and probably many of you guys that have played Rejuvenation maybe once or multiple times. Connecting with the characters, the story, the everything about this. I think it's phenomenal the way that they've written it with Crescent, where, again, that whole mentality of it's hard to move on. I don't even know if I can. This hurts, it sucks. We go forward into, well, from Zeit to the mall scene, trying to interact with her and show her that we just want to be friends, get to know her, and work together towards a better tomorrow. And then we get to the restaurant scene where Ren is like, I'm not mad anymore. I'm not upset about these kind of things. I once was. I was angry. I didn't even like this. But I'm moving on. It's done, it's over, and I just want to work together for a better tomorrow. Crescent, of course, is like, no. You should be mad, you should be furious, you should be all the above, but not that. Not okay with this. And not okay with moving on. I ruined your life. And Ren's like, I know. But what's done is done. And we have to move on. You've made mistakes. You screwed up. So have I. We need to move on. It's time to keep going and not be so fixated on regrets, on past events. You've been through pain, so have I, and all of us around you. So let's just move forward, okay? And then, of course, with the scene with the snowflake, I think that's gotta be one of my favorite scenes within Rejuvenation, because again, Crescent isn't really one to just, you know, stop and just think. She just does. She goes, she moves, you know, like, you know how Crescent is. So for her to finally just relax for a moment and be like, fine, whatever, I'll take a look at your stupid snowflake or whatever. And she holds out her hand, falls onto her, you know, hand, finger, whatever. She's looking at it for a moment, looking at all the different, you know, features that a snowflake has. And she's like, why didn't I stop to look at something so pretty before? And that's what happens when, you know, people get so fixated and just tunnel vision on just one objective, one goal, one mindset, whatever you want to call it, word it, that, you know, I mean, for an example, like if you put your hands like right in between, not in between, but like beside like your eyes, like you're not going to see, like you see what's in front of you, and that's not a bad thing. But if you live that way your entire life, you miss out on so many things that are around you. And pretend you see me move my hands away from my face. Like when you do that, you see so much more out there, and there's so much to live for and to experience. And I think Crescent at that end was like, it's pretty. I don't know why I didn't do this before. Ren, Alon, she turns around and she's like, oh, they're gone. Okay, I see what they're doing. And she says, thank you, and I'm sorry. Sorry for all the things that she did to Alon and the things that she's done to Ren. So yeah, very good way to end off Crescent's, you know, little segment there within the story. Everything seems to have gone really well with Crescent. When you guys got back, her vibe was, I don't know, different, brighter, I guess. Whatever happened, I'm glad things seem to be going better for her. Okay then, it's on to the next step. The idea you had for a program is going to take a little bit, but it should be doable. Alon, Malia, Crescent's wireframe has completely disappeared. Really? Please take a look. Sure enough, it's been shattered. Additionally, pieces of the file address provided has been decrypted, so that means that becoming closer with Crescent opened up the document. Is that how we're supposed to gain the keys inside of each and every one of us? I'm not sure if that's the case for all of them, but it's what worked with Crescent, becoming closer with everyone. Well, who do we have left then? Ren, Alita, the twins, Aaron, Venom, Alex, Damien, and Amber. Even if that were the case, we have a little over 2 weeks. That's not much time at all. I'm stressed out. How are we going to get all of this done on time? Now, again, she's referring to the time frame of the attack and ambush against the Team Zen HQ. So that's what she's going at when she says 2 weeks. We can do this. Maybe we're screwed. No idea. We could do this. Yeah, we don't have a choice. Losing isn't an option here. Okay, I'll think of something. We have a lot of time to think thanks to Zeit, but we should call it a night. It's 2 a.m. in the real world. If someone wakes up and finds us both out of bed, it'll be a bit awkward. Let's leave. I will continue to try and find a way to debug the files through my end. Be safe, Alon. And I think with that being said and done, I think we'll stop there for the time being because we're about a little over an hour and a half, so yeah. Let me take a look at the points real quick. Yeah, we could do this as +2, and then of course we're screwed as -2, and that third one would be neutral. Now, save here. Plane of Harmony. It's an interesting name. Now real quick, just to double check, does it start story stuff if I just leave, or can I save outside of here? I see, okay, so yeah, we'll stop there for now, and then I'll pick this up tomorrow. Love you guys, take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Good morning.